Hi everybody, this is Tess at the Paper and Ink Spot, and today I'm going to do a tutorial on a masculine birthday card. Now, we all know it's hard to make a masculine card, right? Well, I have some awesome ideas for all of you out there. This is the version of the card we're going to make today. Pretty close to this, but I'm going to add an extra pop of color just because I think it'll look nicer. This is my original card, okay? So I'm going to turn this camera around, y'all, and we are going to get to it. And as we go along, I am going to give you some basic tips on how to create masculine cards, okay? And you know, I just want to say one quick thing too. Just because it's a masculine card does not mean that you cannot use embellishments. And by embellishments, I mean like ribbons or enamel dots or even pearls. Just saying, as long as they're the right color, okay? So, bear with me while I get the camera flipped around and we're gonna start, okay? Thanks everybody. I'll be right back. Hi everybody. So I'm back and I have the camera face down so that you can see what I'm doing. I first want to start off by telling you what supplies you will need to recreate this card. So the two stamp sets we are using is Happiest of Birthdays, and that will be the sentiment right here that we use, a very nice masculine sentiment. And the other stamp set is Field Journal. And look at these wonderful images, everyone. You have a little chipmunk here, you have a mallard duck here, you have this big leaf with a ladybug, some berries, and just some nice greenery right here. You also have sentiments. You can make this a masculine thank you card if you'd like. What we're going to make today are, we are going to make a birthday card, okay? And actually, I have two cards that I've already made. They're very, very similar, if you can tell. One is has a pop of color, which is the Misty Moonlight. Let me try to get that in here so you can see the Misty Moonlight. And I've also used our banner punch, and I have flagged the end of this sentiment, okay? Now this one, we used all neutral colors, no pop of color in the layers, and we did not flag the sentiment. And I actually cut the sentiment very close to the actual stamp. So there's pretty much nothing left over. And this is wrapped around the card without a tie. And this one has a little tie. So I actually prefer this one best. I don't know. What do you guys think? Please leave a comment and tell me which one you like best, the all neutral or the pop of color, okay? So I'm going to set these two cards aside, and I'm going to start constructing and creating our card that we will make together. So if you have these two stamp sets, pull them out and let's get going. The cardstock that you're going to need today is very vanilla for your stamping area, and that's going to be 3 inches by 4 1/8. And then you're going to need crumb cake, and you're going to need that in a 4 1/4 by 11, which is simply one sheet of cardstock cut in half. Okay, and cut in half longwise on the diagonal, okay? So that is going to be the card base and the stamping base. Now for the layers, we have 2 layers. We're going to use Early Espresso, and that will be 3 3/4 by 5 inches long. And then we're going to use Misty Moonlight, and this will be 5 1/4 long by 4 inches wide. And just to save some time, I have pre-cut these, and I have also pre-embossed the Early Espresso layer. If you can see this, there, I think you can see that. That has been embossed with the Pinewood Planks 3D folder, which is right here. Okay? And that just looks, it looks like a hardwood floor. I love it. I think it's very masculine looking, and I absolutely adore using it on cards, especially cards for men or boys. So those are the cards that we're going to use today, okay? And we're going to get started on our stamping now, all right? So we have our card base here. I'm just going to move the card base out of the way. And what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go ahead and put our layers together. Now I'm just going to use a little bit of Tombow glue, because when you have an embossed, especially one of the 3D embossed backgrounds, it's really better to use a glue. I find it much better to use glue rather than Stampin' Seal. Although you can use Stampin' Seal, it does a wonderful job on it. I just really prefer the glue. So the Tombow glue, it's amazing. I love it. I am definitely a glue fan. And I'm definitely a new Stampin' Seal fan too, you guys. So if you haven't tried our new adhesive, give that a try. You are going to love it. It's amazing. Okay, so I have our layers here, and now I'm going to take our card, and I am going to simply glue these layers down to the card. Okay? Simple, simple, simple. Look at that. Isn't that little pop of color just really beautiful against the crumb cake? I love it. All right, so that's our card. We're going to put that aside, and we're going to get right into stamping our images here. Now, I'm going to start with our mallard duck, and I am using Memento Tuxedo Black. This is the only stamp pad you need, okay? The only stamp pad you need today is Memento Tuxedo Black. All right? Now, you guys, something about me that you may not know, this is my very first tutorial. So I hope that you enjoy it, and I hope that I sincerely hope I don't mess up. So if you do have any suggestions for me, please put a comment below the video. I love constructive criticism. So yeah. Okay, so here goes our duck. We're going to just stamp him down. Give him a good press. And look at that. Beautiful, beautiful image of our duck. And put him back. And then I have also pre-cut for our sentiment a piece of Very Vanilla in 2 inches by 1 1/4 inches. And this is going to layer. So this is layering piece is Misty Moonlight, and it is in 2 1/4 inches by 1 1/2 inch. Okay, so let's stamp And I'm just going to line this up with the grid on my protective surface here. I'm going to get my memento and I am going to ink up the Happy B-Day, okay? Now, I hope you don't see the top of my head, but you know, sometimes you just kind of got to get your head down there to get your image stamped correctly. So there we go. And you know what? It's a little crooked. And that's okay, because the beauty of stamping, you have another side. Look at that. We have a whole new side. And so I'm going to restamp this on the other side. And I'm going to try a little bit harder here to get this straight. Okay, let's see if I can do it this time. All right, I think I've got it this time. Let's see. Yeah, that looks better. Okay. So I'm going to put this here. Let's see. You know, it definitely looks better on this side. But I still think I'm going to have to clean this up just a tad bit. And that's okay, because I have my little mini trimmer here. And what I'm going to do, you guys, is I'm going to put it in and just kind of take a little sliver off going this way, just to straighten up my sentiment a little. And you know what? You can totally do this. If you don't know how to do this, you just kind of line your stamp up with a straight line on your trimmer, and then give it a chop, okay? And usually, yeah, see, this is going to work out just fine. You know what? I might go ahead and just trim this down even more, just because I kind of do like the close look, the close cropped look when it is close to the stamped image. So let me see. Yeah, I like that. Okay, I'm gonna give this end a little chop. I like to chop things, you guys. I like to cook, so I chop a lot of veggies, and to me, chopping is kind of therapeutic, isn't it? That might sound strange to some of you, but I do like to chop things up. All right, I think we've got it here. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. So I'm definitely getting happier with this. There. All right. Now the only thing left is to cut the edges just a little. Just like this. See how you can fix that? And you guys, I'm not going to edit this out, because I want you to see that even people who have been making cards for a long time, I am new to social media, but I am not new to card making whatsoever. I've been card making for years, but even though I've been card making for years, I still make mistakes. And the good thing about making a mistake is when you're making something by hand, you can fix it. And you can fix it pretty easily. So don't throw your mistakes away. Just give them a quick kind of analyze them a little bit to see what you can do to repair them. Okay? So I'm going to leave this like this because I have an idea of what I want to do with this. Now that I kind of in mid card making, I am now doing it slightly different, okay? And you know what? It's real life. And that happens in real life, right? So we're not going to sweat the little things here. We're just going to go ahead and we are going to go forward with this card. And actually, I think it's going to turn out even better. So let's glue this down with a little bit of Tombow. Well, if I can get my Tombow to come out. There we go. Okay. And I'm going to line this up so it's more on this end. Do you guys see that? So I have a border all the way around, but I definitely have more over here. And that's because I'm going to take our banner punch, and you guys, look what I'm going to do. I am going to make this into a flag at the end. And I'm really excited because you guys know I didn't plan this, right? So this is really kind of fun. It's kind of fun to rearrange and do something different than what you kind of anticipated. Because you know what? Sometimes you can come up with some pretty cool items just because you messed up the original. So yeah, exciting. I'm excited. I think this is going to look awesome. Look at that, you guys. Isn't that cute? Cute as can be. All right. So now we have our mallard duck. We have it stamped. We have our sentiment ready to go right here. Okay. Now all we have to do is color our mallard duck. And we are going to use blends. And the blends we are using are the bronze, the light and dark crumb cake, the light and dark pretty peacock, the light basic black, the mambo melody in light, and the dark pumpkin pie. Okay? So let's get coloring our duck. And I'm going to start out by just kind of going over his tail area just a little, because I really just want to make that really dark and black. Okay? And I'm also going to go over his eye just a little. And I'm going to be careful not to take the that little white dot away, because I really like that. Because you know, when you look at someone's eyes, there's like always that little white dot in your eye. So I think that makes it really very realistic. And then we're going to start with Pretty Peacock. And I'm going to take the dark Pretty Peacock and I'm going to use it first. And I am just going to go over these really dark spots that the stamp did for us. So that's all you have to do with this. It's very easy to color on these stamps. You just kind of go over where they actually put the dark colors. Okay? So I'm going to do that. I'm not making it all perfect or anything like that. I just want to get the color down and make sure that I am coloring all of this little guy's neck. Okay? And look at the beautiful color. I just love Pretty Peacock. It's an in color, and you guys, I'm going to be really sad when it does go away because I really, really like it. Okay, but you know what? I'm going to stock up on these Pretty Peacock blends and papers and ink refills, and I will have Pretty Peacock for a very, very long time, and that will make me happy. So, yeah. Okay, now we're going to take our pumpkin pie in the dark color, and we are going to just simply do his little feet. Now, you guys, we're not going to be all worried about blending the light and the dark color on this little guy's feet, because it's such a small space, it would be a waste of time to do that, okay? And now we're going to take the light Melody Mambo, and we're going to do our little guy's beak, okay? Look at that. These are such gorgeous colors. And who would have thought that a duck could be so pretty, right? My mom was a bird watcher, and she used to, when they would go up to Canada, they would actually stop at lakes to look at the different variety of ducks. I mean, so seriously, who knew? Who knew ducks could be so beautiful? But they really, really are. Now we're going to take Misty Moonlight, and we are just going to do the water. This is the water that our little guy is standing in here. And we're just going to give our water a little bit of color here. And I'm going to switch to this other end so that I can get a little bit closer to his feet without coloring his actual feet, Misty Moonlight. So, yeah. There we go. Okay. I think that looks very cute, very good, very masculine, right? Not cute. Masculine. Okay, now we're going to use our bronze blend, and we're going to come right in, and we're going to do that neck area right below this white band that's around their neck. Okay, and we're going to do this all the way down his breastbone there. Okay, and we're going to just make sure we get that. We're going to go over this darker area just a little bit, because you can build color with the blends. Even if you're using the exact same color, you can build up that color a little, okay? So there, I've built up that color. I think you can tell it's a little lighter in the middle. All right. And now we're going to go in with our crumb cake. And we are going to use our dark crumb cake first. And we're just going to color in these dark areas of our stamp, where our stamp left these really dark areas on our image. Okay? So I'm going to go through here. I'm going to hit all those areas really well with the dark crumb cake, including down here, more on the bottom. Okay, and now up here, more by where his wingspan is right here, we're going to hit these in more of a lighter tone. We're going to use the light crumb cake, and we're just gonna go right over these black images and give them some color behind the image. Okay, and then we're gonna take our brush end, we're gonna go right up here, and we're just gonna kind of blend some color in. Okay, and we're going to leave a little bit of a white spot there. We're going to blend some color down here. And we're going to go back over these darker areas. And then we're going to hit just a little bit of the tail, because these ducks do have a lot of white feathers in them. Okay, so you don't really want to color the entire image in the crumb cake. You want to leave some of those areas without color. Okay, so our duck is colored now, and we're going to go in with our Wink of Stella, because if you have ever seen a mallard duck, you know that their heads and necks are very, very shiny, very sleek and shiny. So we're going to give this the illusion of sleek and shiny by just applying some Wink of Stella. And I'm just going to be careful to go around the eye here. Okay. And I'm going to make sure that I really get this neck really well. Okay. I think that looks great. And then of course water. You know, when sunlight hits water, it sparkles. So we're going to go down here, and once again, we're going to give the water a little Wink of Stella here. Be careful not to hit our duck's legs, because, you know, there's nothing pretty about a duck leg, right? Am I right? Those legs? Okay, just saying. Here we go. All right. So we are done with our Wink of Stella. And you guys, look at that. Gorgeous. I don't know if that's picking up the that glitter, but I can see it really well here on my end. Now you guys, we're going to tie a piece of our braided linen trim by Stampin' Up. We're just going to tie a piece of this around our cardstock here. We're going to give that a little tie. And you guys, I'm going to do this simple. I'm just going to tie it in a knot. And I'm going to tie it off to one side, okay? Just like this. We're going to make sure that our string is lying flat on our right side of our card. On the back, it doesn't matter if it's twisted or not. You guys, it's not going to matter, and you're going to see why in just a second. Just make sure that it is laying flat in the front, okay? Like this. There we go. And guess what? I did not tie that very tightly. So I'm going to redo it. And that's another thing that I like about this linen trim. You can untie it. Yay! All right. So now I'm just going to give this a little snip to cut these strings just a little bit. There we go. Okay. And I'm going to get our sentiment in. I'm just going to kind of play with this a little bit to see where I want it to go. And I think I'm going to scoot this the ribbon down a little on the card. Okay. And I want this sentiment to go to the end of this cardstock, right there. So I'm going to take some dimensionals, and I'm going to use our mini dimensionals. These are awesome, you guys. You get like a gazillion in a pack. I mean, yes, I'm exaggerating. You don't really get a gazillion, but it seems like it because you get a whole bunch of these in a package for $4.50. It's like the greatest deal ever. Okay. So there we go. I have, oops. You guys don't do what I just did. Don't put your dimensional in the middle because you want your ribbon to run through there. Okay. Or your braided linen ribbon trim. That's what you want. You want to leave a little space between your dimensionals so that your sentiment lies flat. If you put the dimensional on top of this, it could be a little wonky. It could make your sentiment rock back and forth. And we don't want that, right? So we're going to line this up with the end of our cardstock, and we're going to pop it down. Okay? Now what we're going to do, we're going to bring our card back in, our base card with our layers 1 and 2, and we are going to pop this whole piece up on dimensionals. And that's why I said it didn't matter if it was twisted in the back. And you see mine is twisted, but it won't matter at all because once you get these dimensionals on here, there'll be space for that ribbon, and it's not going to make your cardstock a little wonky or anything. You won't even know it's twisted. Nobody will. Okay? So I like to use a lot of dimensionals because most of the time I'm sending a card, it's going to go through the mail, and I want to make sure that my card arrives nicely because I have taken the time, the effort, and the energy to design and create this card, and I want to make sure that it gets to my recipient all in one wonderful piece. Okay? So, yeah, I use a lot of dimensionals. You know, what can I say? It's how I roll, and I like it. So, everybody has to do what makes them happy. Dimensionals make me happy. Okay. Now, you guys, we are not finished yet. Now, even though this is a masculine card, we still have ribbon, okay? We still have bling with this glitter on our duck's neck and head. And now, for the final touch, we are going to add some of our metallic pearls. Stampin' Up! Has these metallic pearls. They come in gold and silver. And you guys, these are unisex. I mean, you can use these on any card. They're not feminine, they're not masculine, they're pretty much unisex. And I absolutely love these pearls. And there we have it. Okay? So there we go, guys. A beautiful masculine card with bling. Okay? We've got Wink of Stella, we have pearls, and we have ribbon. Some trim right there. I mean, that's gorgeous, right? So I hope you enjoyed making this card with me today. I hope you enjoyed my very first tutorial. And like I said, if you have any suggestions, leave them below in the comment box. I love comments and I read them all, and I usually always respond. So if I don't respond, it's because I somehow missed it. But anyway, thank you so much, everybody, for spending this time with me today. Be kind and be safe in the world. And please visit me again. And also visit my blog at thepaperandinkspot.com. Okay?